Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin mi naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I am just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant Beach Club, which is right next door, so you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going to the Conchas Chinas neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. We're going seaside to a very lovely property called Casa Karma. And Casa Karma it's a private villa where you can reserve a suite with an ocean view, or you can hold an event in a very magical place. You're going to meet the owner of Casa Karma. Her name is Georgia Darashori, and she's a lovely lady, and she's going to tell you all about the villa. We have emails that we're going to go through. We have Vallarta news and more. So let's get to it. Let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 1st of March, 2022. Volunteers are busy over at Parque de los Azulejos. We know it as Tile Park PV. It looks like they've been hard at work almost every day now. And I do believe that if you have attended one of Nat Maraga's workshops over the years, she mentioned this last time I talked with her, that they would like your help. They still need money, and I do believe that they still have a booth over at the Saturday market over at Tile Park. But if you want to help, I have a link to the Facebook page of Tile Park PV, also their website. So send them a message, or if you're in town, just look for somebody who looks important, tiling around there, and ask them if you can get involved. I'm sure they'll talk to you. Anyway, speaking about Tile Park, I had an opportunity to talk with our friend Gabino Barrera. He's the pull tab purse maker that we love and know and love there in Puerto Vallarta. A very nice man and a very good friend of mine. So let's see what's happening right now with Gabino and the pull tab purses. Hey, Gabino. How are you doing?
Muy bien, excelente, perfecto, great, fantastico.
How's business going?
Terrific. We had a really bad season last year, but this year is fantastic. We are doing it, like mucho trabajo, lots of work. Yeah.
And now tell everybody where you're going to be selling stuff this year. Right now we're at the Saturday market, and I see you out on the Malecon. So tell me about your schedule.
We are usually doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in Malecon in the evening. And we go tomorrow, Sunday, La Cruz Market is in the morning from 9 till 2 p.m. We go Nuevo Vallarta at La Jolla Hospital from 9 to 2 every Tuesday. And we also do Thursday evening market at Marina, Puerto Vallarta.
So you're everywhere, and you're basically taking off where you left off like 2 years ago, getting it going again.
Yeah, we're just happy with new ideas. Also, we are expecting the best for not just for me, for everybody. and you have to take care also. Like the things happen, but we will survive.
Yeah. And I really love the new colors that are coming out here. You're making some really, really, really nifty things right now.
Yeah, we're doing purses, and we're doing a backpack with colors. We usually have it here, but they're all gone. But we're doing more color. We want people to be happy, and that's what we're doing. We have some new design that you have to came to see them, and what else? People they're asking for more and more, so we have to create more designs.
That's right. People are very demanding. So you gotta do what they say.
Yeah, they are mostly the people. They're friends. Repeat customers, they become our friends, our family. Lots of people they bring the tab they are been saving for months and even for a year, and they support. They know it's hard times, so they save the pull tab for us. That's a good thing. That made me feel very good.
Yeah, I forgot to bring mine this time down. I'll have to remember. You're making me feel a little guilty here.
Okay, so we're very happy with this season. We're really happy. We're very blessed, and we say, God, thank you for everything. Even for the COVID, we say thank you, because we don't even knew what we had until we lost it.
Well, that's an interesting way to look at things. I got to tell you right now. Thanks for talking with us. I'll have pictures in the show notes. Check it out, and we'll visit with you real soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Gabino. You guys remember when you pop that soda pop or that beer top pop, save it and collect them. Put them in a baggie, and don't forget, like I did, to bring them down with you when you come down to Puerto Vallarta. I have pictures of some of Gabino's new styles, and some of the colors are really pretty. They're really very, very nice. So look for Gabino, of course, over on the Malecon and at one of those markets that he talked about that are all around the bay. Last weekend, the finals for the So You Think You Can Rise talent contest took place, and we have winners. Yes, we do. We have winners. The third place went to a band called Eyes on Earth. Second place went to a singer by the name of Inoche. And first place went to a dance group named Fusion 91. It was a great event over at Teatro Vallarta. And those of you who attended, you had a real treat. And those of you who didn't, you can actually go to their Facebook page. I have a link there, and you can actually see for yourself what it was like to be there. Lisa, Billy, you guys are awesome. You did a great job there. We all know what Rise is. If you don't know what Rise is one of the local orphanages here. Actually, it is a home for children at risk, and Rise stands for Refugio Infantil Santa Esperanza, and it is located up in the Benito Juarez neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. So Billy and Lisa, awesome job. These guys took 4 months to plan this and to execute it, and they say that they're in for more of the same. So they're going to try again next year. How about that? They raised a lot of money for kids over at Rise, and they showcased some of the talent that's actually out there in Puerto Vallarta that's not already on a stage, you know what I mean? Anyway, 10,000 pesos was the prize, and that's about $500 US. So once again, Billy, Lisa, you are both ser humanos incredible. You are both incredible human beings. And good luck. Next year, we'll see it again. Coming up in a couple weeks over at Puerto Magico, there's going to be a wine pairing festival going on there. It's called Vinomo, the Vinomo Fest, and it's an exhibition of Mexican wineries who will pair their wines with some of the tastiest food in Puerto Vallarta. The dates are going to be Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th of March. The hours are from 3 in the afternoon until 10 in the evening, Admission is free. There will be live entertainment as well as, well, you're going to be there. You might as well do a little shopping, right? Anyway, for more information, just go to www.vinomafest.com. That's Vinoma Fest.com. I'll have a link to that in the show notes. It sounds like a lot of fun. Get on over there. A couple weeks back, we had Bob Price from the Vallarta Botanical Garden on the show, and Bob reminded us about something that that I want to remind you about, and that is that Vallarta is suffering from a water shortage. And even though the rainy season is still 4 months off, the Puerto Vallarta area is in water rationing mode, you guys. So part of the reason, of course, is, well, it's the unbridled growth, right? Condos are popping up left and right. And water management is another major problem. Actually, the city hired an Israeli firm to assess the situation, and these people said that the city loses 2 months' worth of water every year in leakage alone. Old leaky pipes are responsible for the loss of 2 entire months of fresh water, and it's really hard to believe. And water storage is another issue as well. And corruption was cited by the new mayor of Puerto Vallarta as a problem too. So the saddest part of it, of course, is that the poorer who live in the outlying colonias, they get restrictions and they get rationing before the more lucky and privileged folks do in the tourist areas. And, anyway, that's not a good deal. Anyway, so I'm asking all of you to be really conscious of your water usage while you're in paradise. You might think about taking a Navy shower. You ever heard of a Navy shower? My dad taught me what a Navy shower was when I was a kid, probably because I was using way too much water. He was in the Army, but he was actually in charge of a boat during the Korean War, so go figure. Anyway, what is a Navy shower, you might ask? Well, it's also known as a combat shower, or a military shower, or a sea shower, or a staggered shower, or GI bath, and it's a method of showering that allows for significant conservation of water and energy by turning off the flow of water in the middle portion of the shower while you're lathering up. I actually have a video embedded of some dude taking a Navy shower right there in the show notes. All right, there's no nudity, but it's pretty cute. So anyway, think about shortening up that shower. It's pretty easy to do that Navy shower thing in Puerto Vallarta because it's usually pretty warm, and you don't necessarily need the steady stream of warm water on your back when you're taking that shower. Now, I understand the tendency, of course, to overuse water when you're visiting a hotel or a resort. You're thinking, hey, I'm paying good money for this water. I'm going to use it all. But hey, look, try to resist that urge. And speaking of the urge and wine, you might want to keep the adage in mind and take it to heart. If you're staying alone or even amongst friends, if you got to pee, you don't have to flush between every use, right? If it's yellow, it's mellow. If it's brown, you know the deal. Anyway, it's just another water-saving tip, and we all need to be conscious and deliberate about water. It's truly a precious resource, so keep that in mind while you are visiting, or if you live there in Puerto Vallarta, keep that in mind as well. Governor Enrique Alfaro Ramirez announced that he is loosening most of the recent COVID restrictions, which are namely the limit of the number of diners and restaurants and lodgers and hotels and audiences and clubs and theaters. But for now, the Vax Pass is still in effect, and that includes the barring of entrance to bars, nightclubs, theaters, to the non-vaccinated individuals in our midst. So for now, the unvaccinated are not allowed unless they have a negative COVID test within 48 hours of your visit. So, of course, we know why that is science. But there is pushback from the businesses that are being affected. This is an article from Puerto Vallarta Reporter Online. Business sector wants to eliminate vaccination certificate requirements. This is dated February 21st. 2022. The last 3 weeks has shown a downward trend in the number of new cases of COVID-19 in Jalisco, for which the business sector has asked the health board to eliminate the obligation to present a vaccination certificate to enter bars, nightclubs, and restaurants. The president of the Council of Bars, Nightclubs, and Entertainment Centers in Jalisco, Cesar Garcia, said that there is evidence of a significant improvement in terms of new cases and hospitalizations, and requested that the validity of his requirement be shortened. In this week's update, the health board determined that the certificate must be submitted until at least March 13th. Garcia said yesterday 1,800 infections were registered, and those were the levels before the restrictions came in. Logically, they should have ended the certificate requirement, but they decided to extend it for another month, and we will see if there can be a review, and it can be eliminated before that. At the moment, there is no response from the authorities, but as they have done for previous requests, they most likely will deny the request. All right, anyway, I have a link to that article from the Vallarta Reporter in the show notes, and we'll see what happens. Of course, we'll be following this story, and if you want to read more stories from Vallarta Reporter online, they are actually hidden behind a paywall, so if you don't have a paid subscription, you just can't read it, right? But you can listen to it from me. The wonders of podcasting, eh? The second Los Horcones Music Festival is scheduled for Saturday, March 26th. It's coming right up. It's going to be from 12 noon until 6 p.m. It's going to be over at the Los Veranos Canopy Tour. And I'll just read here. It says, this inspirational community event will build awareness for and educate about the Los Horcones River, one of the most beautiful and important freshwater tributaries to the Puerto Vallarta Banderas Bay. The event organizers are working hard to prepare an incredible lineup of entertainers for a fun-filled afternoon of great tunes in a lovely natural setting. Those wishing to perform at the event or help as a volunteer or sponsor are encouraged to please contact Horcones Rio by direct message or email at info@horcones.org. I have that link in the show notes. So if you do want to be one of the entertainers there, if you want to help, if you want to volunteer, give them send them an email, see what happens. I was at the first edition a couple of years back. It was over at Chico's Paradise, and it was a blast. Of course, this year it's going to be over at Los Veranos Canopy Tour, and I have a map in the show notes. And be ready when you go there to bring some pesos with you so you can donate and help preserve the Rio Horcones. But you will have a great day there. The music will be lovely, and you'll be right there riverside. The Rio Horcones is the lifeblood of that whole area, which includes Boca de Tomatlan as well. I have links in the show notes. Entry is free, by the way. There will be food and drinks. You'll have to pay for those. All right, here. I have a listener email from Alan, and Alan writes, Hola, Barry. I just want to say gracias again for all the wonderful work you do. It's because of you that I learned about El Tuito and Bonnie's place at Rancho Primavera. Yeah, we were there several years back. I was able to stay there for 4 nights, and I really enjoyed my time there. Except for the 80 or so no-see-em bites that I was left with. Whoa, oh, ouch, ooh. Really? Also, I was able to enjoy a few days at Hotel Maito. What a peaceful place. I love the music in PV, and I've enjoyed the musicians that you've interviewed and shared on your podcast. 2 of my favorite bands in PV are the all-female band Las Mambas, and another band called Bobby and the Others. If you haven't had a chance to see them, I highly recommend checking them out. Seems like these 2 bands would be a fun interview. Thanks again for building this community and sharing all the insights and keeping us connected to the Puerto Vallarta. I appreciate you, Alan. All right. Alan, thank you so much for that email. I love emails like this. I'm sorry to hear about that 80 no-see-em bites. Dude, how did you survive that? I mean, how did you even sleep? We need to talk. Okay, anyway, let that be a lesson to you. Let that be a warning that you need to protect yourself. You need to cover up your vulnerable body parts when you are in El Tuito. So, and I really love El Tuito. I love Maito. I love the Hotel Maito. I think about him almost every day, believe it or not. Anyway, and I really love the Mama Band, the all-girl band. I actually interviewed him a couple years back, but like 2 weeks after I interviewed the girls, the lead singer left the band. And then sometime later, there was another change in the band, I think, too. So I never really got a chance to post the episode because, well, they got new people in the band. And they were, Alan, you were right. They were fun. They were a fun interview. Maybe I'll get them with the new band. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I heard Bobby and the others play over at El Rio Barbecue my last trip down. I really liked her. Country music mostly. But yeah, I liked her a lot. Thank you. Thanks again for that email. And keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. Sorry once again about those bites. Yikes. Really, you need to tell me how you dealt with all that. All right. Hey, let's get to our guest, shall we? If you've been following the podcast, then you know that lately I've been interviewing some of the generous people who sponsored the talent show for the benefit of RISE, Refugio Infantil Santa Esperanza. We talked about the finals over at Teatro Vallarta earlier. And one of the sponsors for the event, I was just thrilled to find out, was Georgia Darashori of Casa Karma. Now, I've been trying to have a conversation with Georgia for about a year now. My friend Polly was working on it, as well as my other dear friend Marcia Blondin. But you will hear in the interview that, well, Georgia's had a pretty rough year. She's had her hands full. But I was pleased that Billy and Lisa helped me set up this interview. Now, Casa Karma is an incredible property. It's located just south of the Romantic Zone in an area known as Conchas Chinas. And it's a lovely area with rocky little mini beaches that are along the coastline right there. And Casa Karma is built into the hillside with an absolutely stunning view of the Bahia de Banderas. And it overlooks one of these rocky beaches. And to get there, you need to head south along Carretera 200, just a couple kilometers to the south of town. And the landmark that you're going to be looking for is Lindamar, the Lindamar condos. And if you've ever eaten at that little restaurant there at the Lindamar, it's called La Playita, which means little beach. Or if you've stayed over the Lindamar, then you know what kind of view that they have over at Casa Karma, because Casa Karma is right next door to the Lindamar. So now that you know where it is, let's head up there. Let's actually down the Carretera 200 to number 1247 in Colonia Conchas Chinas, and let's have a conversation with a very lovely lady who loves this town with all her heart, kind of like you and me, but maybe in a grander way. Anyway, let's hear from her right now. Let's hear from Georgia about a fabulous property with a special energy, a magical place for guests who come to stay a few nights or for those who come for special occasions and events. Suspended above the rocky beach overlooking the grand Bahia de Banderas, let's meet Georgia Darashori, the owner of the lovely Casa Karma in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Georgia, thanks for coming on the show today.
My pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? And what was your path to Puerto Vallarta?
I was from a small town in Iowa, and my path to Puerto Vallarta was totally serendipitous.
Ah.
Someone who owned a house here, kind of a high roller, was gifting my husband with a week in his beautiful, beautiful hacienda as a thank you for saving his business. And so we basically fell in love with it. We were served margaritas around the pool. We were children. This is 1979. So we were total children. And we were being served margaritas around the pool. We had a full staff. We said, oh, my goodness, this is the life. This is the life.
Yeah.
So we fell in love with Puerto Vallarta, and we totally fell in love with the people immediately.
Yeah. Now, where was this hacienda?
This was in Conchas Chinas.
Oh, so it was in Conchas Chinas. All right. So is it still there?
It is.
Really? No? Okay.
The owner is not.
Oh, well, yeah, that happens every once in a while.
Yes.
All right. So this was you said in 79? 79.
Yes.
All right. So you came, you visited. Then what?
Well, then what happened is that Goli was with a large company. He had risen through the ranks. He was not having any fun anymore. And so he got into his own business. Actually, he came to me and said, at age 55, and said, Georgia, he was a vice president of a huge company, and he said, I'm not having any fun anymore. And I said, well, Goli, I will live with anything but bugs, mice, or regrets. I do not want you to be 65 years old and say, gee, I wish I'd done this. So we went out on our own, and Goli hit the ground running because of his integrity and because of all the people in the industry who supported him. And so we said, oh, my goodness, how do we say thank you to these beautiful people who supported us? We had not even a break-even month. I mean, we and this is a 7% margin of profit. Anyway, so we ended up saying, well, let's go to Puerto Vallarta. Yes, good idea. So we found the same person who had brought us there in the first place, and we said, can we rent all of February for you? And they said, well, sure, absolutely, we love it. So we brought our customers. There are 4 bedrooms, so we invited 3 at a time, and then we really painted the town. We really got to know the town. We loved the people. And we were very supportive of everything in the city. And in fact, what we wanted to do was become involved in the city. And in fact, Goli would say, well, there's a little something that needs to be done here. Let me just do it. In fact, one of them was the steps at going down from Santa Barbara to Las Muertas. Little things like that.
Wow. So he did that?
He did that.
Unbelievable. What kind of business was Goli in?
He was in the paint and coatings industry. He was a chemist.
Oh.
So he was doing the raw materials for the paint and coating industry.
Interesting.
And I was a CEO, chief entertaining officer of his company. So I did all the parties, black tie, funky things.
Oh, wow.
A lot of fun.
I'll bet you were good at it, too.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, no kidding. And you're still doing it, too. What are you
I
talking
am.
about?
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So when did you finally make the move?
We actually made the move in 2014. And the reason for that was that after everything, Goli had had a kidney surgery. The anesthesia left him with dementia, very mild dementia. But we discovered that the people in Puerto Vallarta really understood his heart. This was not so in the U.S. And this is something I really want to share, is that when people have dementia, and when I'm talking about dementia, I'm talking about actually some kind of a mild form in this case, and definitely just a little bit of a problem with memory.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like children, and they will make observations, and they will point out those observations. They're not making judgments. They might say, for example, you're fat, but they don't mean anything by it. They're just pointing out that it, in fact, is a state of truth.
Yeah.
You are a little overweight. But they're not suggesting that, that you need to lose weight or any such thing. Anyway, by contrast, in Mexico, people just were very laid back. Mm-hmm. Goli, for example, was walking down the street, saw a fellow with a mohawk. And he said to that fellow, "I like your hair, but where's the rest of it?" And that sweet man said, "Oh, senor, I just could not afford to pay for the rest of it. I'm waiting to save up my pesos so that I can get the rest of it paid up." Just very dear.
Yeah.
Very, very dear. And that's what we learned.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh, it is so true. It is so true.
Yeah.
So you came here because he could have a better life
We
here.
moved here, yes. And when I said to him, "Goli, how do you feel about living here?" he said, "Georgie, thank you for giving me my life back." That's really why we actually ended up living here in 2014.
Right.
But Casa Karma happened in 2006,
Okay. So that that was earlier.
much earlier.
All right. So talk about that.
Well, that was fun. I have a lot to talk about that. First, I'll just say that I used to trick Goli into coming down because my birthday happens to be April 30th, which is Day of the Child. Surprise, surprise. And so I would say, Goli, who is just an amazingly generous and loving human being and loved children. So I would say, "Goli, I can't imagine a better way to spend my birthday than with 57 little children." At that time, I believe that Rise might have had 57 little children. So I would trick Goli into coming down to spend my birthday with the children at Rise. And so we would be doing that for a few years.
Wow. Oh,
And that was fun.
That is a fun trick.
Oh, it was a fun trick.
Yeah.
It worked out beautifully. It was a total win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would give parties to them, have ice cream, clowns, whatever, or one day we went to some kind of a ranch one day. Another time, I asked Chris Almo at that time what they needed, and they needed hiking shoes, so we just managed to get them all hiking shoes. And then all the people who were coming down with us also worked with giving things to them.
Yeah. Yeah. A big group effort. And,
Yeah, it was fun.
That is fun. Wow. So.
And we just wanted to be involved in the community.
Right.
Because we love the community.
Yeah. So how did you find Casa Karma?
Oh, that was serendipitous, too. We were, it's such a long story, but we were closing up a place called Zapata's on the Malecon. They had beautiful Colombian singers or Mexican singers. They were beautiful, beautiful people who were singing with pan flutes and that sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So we would go there after an evening's outing. Because remember, we're entertaining our customers all of February. We've got to keep them busy and entertained.
Yeah.
So we went to the place called Zapata's, and we would basically close them up. We would, and Goli was very, very gregarious. So he would bring out everybody in the audience. So we were all dancing. Everybody was dancing. So one day the manager said, "My son is getting married. He's getting married in June. Would you come to the wedding? We'd be honored." We said, "Of course we will." But this was February. We'd never been to Puerto Vallarta in June. We thought, we do not need a 4-bedroom hacienda. We'll just stay at some little place. So we stayed at a place that was looked very quaint and seemed nice and was on the water. Won't mention any names. But the bottom line is we went there. We were treated so royally. They were so kind. It was such a great wedding. But we were there for 3 days, and there was no air conditioning. And it was hot.
Yeah, June.
And so we said, how can we get into air conditioning for these 3 days that we're here? And so we decided, maybe a realtor's car. So that's exactly what happened. We got into a realtor's car, and then she took us to Casa Karma. Now, Goli was we're 60s kids. So Goli was cavorting with all these guys on the beach. They were saying he was bringing them pesos. He was T-shirts and hats and all of that kind of thing. And they would say, "Hey, amigo, here, I have some fish." And he would bring them fish that were being cooked in a coffee can on the street. And I would say, "Goli, how can we possibly justify living in this 6-bedroom, beautiful place on the beach and then go play with these people on the beach. It did not make sense. But we had our little way of making things work.
Yeah. Trying to make it all make sense.
So we made it work.
Yeah.
So Gully said, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just give money to charity from the rentals that we get from this place. I said, great idea, Gully. Let's go ahead with it. So we did. He's a bargainer. He's a Persian. He's a bargainer. That's a really long story. But anyway, that was in 2004. So he's playing with the price. And, of course, this is a hot market. So we're bargaining with the price. And then he wasn't budging. The owner wasn't budging. And so we went back to Florida, and we actually had Hurricane Charlie hit us.
Oh, yeah.
So we called back, and we said, well, sorry, too much on our plate right now. We got pummeled by Hurricane Charlie.
I think they're still recovering from Hurricane
Charlie.
Charlie.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
We were fine.
Okay.
In fact, we were quite happy with it because it was kind of an ode to the 70s, and we were happy to have it remodeled.
All right, good idea.
It really worked out fine for us.
Yeah.
So the next February, we came down again, and we said, oh, well, let's pick up on Casa Karma again. Everything was set. That was in August of 2004, that Hurricane Charlie. So we came back in 2005 and February, and we said, well, let's pick up with Casa Karma again. So we went back to the realtor, and she said, oh, that's been sold. Oh, well, too bad. Very sad story. So we weren't happy about that, but a few months later, she got in touch with us again. Maybe this is something you don't want to say, but this is what happened. She asked us for a loan, and we said yes, of course, because we're going to be coming down. I know we're going to buy something at some point or another. And so I happened to ask, by the way, how do the people who bought Casa Karma like it? And she said, oh, that fell through. That fell through. So I'm nudging Goli, and I said, Goli, that fell through. Do you want to act on it? He said, yes. Offer them full price. We offered them full price, and they said, are you kidding? It's gone up 20% this year. So Goli starts with it, well, offer them. And I said, Goli, honestly, quit this nonsense. Either get it or don't. And let's not go up another 20%. So we bought it at that price, and there we are.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks after we started renting it in 2006, there was jackhammering next door.
Oh.
And then there was a big explosion because they had a huge dynamite, and
they're blowing
blew
the
a
rocks.
hole in the hole next door. In the hotel next door. It was really wild.
Oh, my gosh.
The story was wild.
They blew a hole in the wall next door?
Yeah, they did in the hotel next door because they could get more money if they just cut down their little bed and breakfast. That was really the bottom line. The good thing that happened was that there's a lawsuit next door.
Uh-huh.
But we've just bought Casa Karma, so we're building our business. We've got a wall. We've got a hole in the ground next door, but who cares? It has not affected us. There's no noise. Mm-hmm. So we do this thing for 7 years, and then suddenly, and this is really kind of a crazy story, but what happened then was that my beautiful house manager, who had been the manager of the other Cochichinas house, saw the owner of this property, and he said, you look really unhappy. What's the matter? And that guy said, well, my partner died. He's the one who wanted this thing. I don't want it. But I have to sell the property in order to pay for the lawsuit. And all I want to do is go back home, start life over there, and forget all this nonsense. And I, without having any liquid cent, not one penny, I had properties, but I had no liquid money, heard myself say, well, I'll buy it. And I thought, well, where did that come from? But he then said, I've just sold it. I sold it to a builder. He's going to build 25 one-bedroom units.
Uh-oh.
So I said, well, okay, I believe in Eckhart Tolle's philosophy. Offer no resistance to life. and live in a state of ease, grace, and lightness, it will be what it will be. But I'm very tenacious. So I said to this fellow, I'm your backup plan. Anything goes wrong, I want that property because I only want to protect Casa Karma. And I'm really sorry about all your problems, and I was. Meanwhile, my daughter is saying, Mom, you need to be more liquid. Dad has dementia. You don't need all these properties. I said, but Sarah, it's 2013. It's the world's worst market. The world's worst market. She said, Mom, you need to be more liquid. All right, so Goalie's in La La Land. We're in Kansas City. Beautiful Frank Lloyd Wright replica. We had just remodeled it. We sold it easily. And Goalie was just picking up plants and putting them in these glasses. And he was just picking up plants around the lake and putting them in these glasses that I'm trying to pack.
Yeah.
So I did not want to lose my phone. So I had it in my apron. And sure enough, the very day this thing closed, the very day, I had a vibration in the apron. It was a text from this fellow who said, I'm so tired. And I'm sorry to tell you this, but I remember it very well because it was misspelled. And he said, I am so tired of the builder jaking me around. If you are serious about this property, it's yours. I wrote him back in a nanosecond. And I said, I am not only serious about this property, I can write you a check for the full amount today, which I certainly could not do in January.
Yeah.
And this was in June. So anyway, that's just a wild story. So I was liquid for a half hour. And now I have the event space next to Casa Karma. Uh-huh. Had a beautiful attorney who went home to do the transaction because she didn't want anybody to know that there was any possibility of this thing being on the market, because that was hot property. You know, raw land on the water, within walking distance of the town. So anyway, it all worked out well, and it closed within 1 month. Nothing closes in a month.
Absolutely not. Maybe
so
3
I have
months.
a labyrinth on it, and I know that I am the steward of that property, and it will never be built upon.
Yeah.
Everybody has asked for it, and I've said no. Got nothing to do with money.
You made great choices there, I've got to tell you. Because they'll, you know what they do. They'll build right up next to you. And
of course they will.
Won't even care about you.
No, but it isn't about that. It's about being concerned about the environment.
Right. Well, exactly.
Yeah,
you have conserved a piece of the oceanfront, really.
Absolutely, and I always will.
Yeah.
No, I've let the family know that, yes.
Oh, wow.
Not thrilled about it, but I will.
All right, so describe Casa Karma for everybody.
Casa Karma has a beautiful energy. And I have absolutely beautiful artwork from a great friend of mine, Marta Gilbert. It has lots of history. It has a lot of Persian history. Goalie has Persian rugs. There are stories all over the place. The place is replete with stories. And I think that's what life is anyway.
Yeah.
In fact, all these beautiful things that you see around here, all of the glasses, these were gifts from people because Goalie would never accept any money from anybody. So they would say, well, Goalie, you collect some beautiful wine glasses from Italy, from here and there. Why don't I just give them to you? So we have those, many of them, at Casa Karma, that we simply share with our guests.
Yeah.
But it's a place of love, laughter, and life. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. It has an event space for up to 200 people on 3 tiers. We have a beautiful area on the lower level, which is actually a labyrinth. The vortex of that energy was opened by a friend of mine in 2014. She's a shaman. So we did it in a proper ceremony with all the directions and the flowers and the fruit and everything. So it's a very, very sacred place. And I am really, as I said, merely the steward of the property.
Yeah.
And it's all about community service. and weddings and joy. People who go there feel it. And we have a great staff.
There are rooms. You have rooms
8.
that you rent out. There are 8
8
rooms.
suite room. 8 suites.
They all face the ocean, I'm sure.
All of them. Every one of them. No short straws.
Can you get to the
great
beach?
stuff.
Can you get to the beach from there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
2 ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
We're right on the beach.
So you say you have a staff. When
Of
people
5.
come,
And they're culinary school trained people. And in fact, let me tell you, the mission statement that we have is actually the 4 agreements. The 4 agreements, do you know that? The Toltec philosophy.
I do.
Yes.
Please,
Well,
go.
should I share them? Okay. Number 1, be impeccable with your word. Number 2, never make assumptions. Never take anything personally. And always do your best. Now, we actually pay a kitty, actually a piggy, for any of those that we break. We talk about it all the time. And I am actually one of the worst offenders because I make assumptions. So I'm probably the one who's, stuffs the piggy bank. But it's all good. It's all good.
So yeah, when people come and they're staying there, so they're being cooked for, they're being
all the time.
Waited on and stuff
Absolutely.
like that. So that's just, it's like
Absolutely.
it's almost like being at a resort, really, isn't it?
It is a resort.
Yeah,
It is a resort. It's a cut above a resort.
it is a cut, definitely.
It's really a cut above a resort. We just wanted to have the most fun, have the highest quality of everything. You can create your own meals, and really, it's excellent.
If people they can just email you, right? You have you can make reservations online just like you would at any hotel kind of a
Yes.
thing.
Actually, there are 3 women that are coordinators. We're 3 women coordinators who run this whole thing, and one whose name is Erica, and then we have Paulina, who's boots on the ground and also does a lot with the bartending and the staff, taking care of the staff. Erica is phenomenal. She's actually my personal assistant because I really am nowhere when it comes to internet and that sort of stuff, and really am a bit of a scatterbrain, so she really keeps me in line. And she will take care of the reservations, and she will take care of all of that kind of good stuff. So the 3 of us always talk about all of these crazy ideas that we have, which is, we even have a movie night. We love it. A 25-foot screen. Yeah, a blow-up screen.
blow-up. Oh, it's a blow-up.
blow-up screen. It's really, really funny. Yeah, we'll have to change that. Anyway, a blow-up screen. So we have all kinds of events. What's beautiful about what we're doing is we can be anything. We are an event space. We can be only an event space. We do a lot of retreats. We're going to be having a light workers gathering February 6th to the 9th, which is just the gathering of light workers all over holding the energy and the intentions and all that good stuff. We have lots and lots and lots of musical venues, have all the beautiful people around. It's just great.
It is great.
It's
and
great.
they're all at your house, which is even
Right.
cooler.
I love it. We have a piano. We have beautiful people playing the piano, singing. It's great. It's great.
You've got some events coming up over at Casa Karma pretty soon. What you have something coming up?
We actually have something wonderful happening on February 3rd, and that's a Vallarta Food Bank. Is having a huge event there on February 3rd. February 6th to the 9th, we have another event, and that is the Light Workers Gathering. And then we also have my husband's going away party, which will be on February 14th, which was his very favorite day of the year.
Yeah, a lot of people's favorite day of the year.
Yes, I know.
That's kind of bittersweet a little bit, huh?
Well, he'll be there.
Yeah, he will. Definitely he'll be
Be
there.
And lots of musicians.
Yeah. And that's not too hard to find in this town.
No, they're the best.
Yeah, they are.
They're the best. In fact, we had such a great time after the hurricane. We wanted to support Vallarta Food Bank, and we also wanted to. Casa Karma had time between renters, and so we were able to do that, and it was just great fun. And we had 11 events. We made a lot of money for them, and it was just letting all of these beautiful entertainers come in and and perform, and then all the money was given, all of it was given to Vallarta Food Bank.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was great. It was a win-win
Yeah, it is.
for them, yes.
Well, your heart is huge. I mean, people, obviously they come to you when they need stuff, right?
I
when
just
they
have
need to,
fun.
when they need to do a party, they come and
just-
say hi, right?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah.
You know what? It's really all about fun. It's all about fun. And one of the things Goli used to say, because he was such an incredibly generous man, he would always say, when people would say, "Oh, Goli, you're so kind," he would say, "Actually, if you think about it, kindness is selfish. Because what is the byproduct of kindness but joy? And what is more selfish, really, than wanting to be joyful and happy all the time?"
Right.
Kind of a backhanded way of looking at it, but it works.
Yeah, well,
I'm just carrying on
you
his
got it
legacy.
right. You got it right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's leave Casa Karma for just a minute. Let's go out into town just for a little bit.
Okay.
If you had a friend that was going to be coming and visiting you, and let's say they're stepping off the boat over at Puerto Magico, and you don't have really the time to show them around town, but you can just show them one place in Vallarta that represents Puerto Vallarta, where would you take them?
Oh, I would take them to a botanical garden without hesitation. And I would insist that they have lunch there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic food.
They have
Fantastic
really done it.
people. Bob is the best.
Yeah, he is. All right, well, cool. Do you have a favorite dish that you get when you go over to the botanic garden to eat?
I think everything is good.
Everything is good.
But I'm kind of partial to all their desserts.
You're one of those.
I'm one of those.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, good. I like you a lot. If you were going to go out and have breakfast, what would you do? Where would you go?
I would probably go to Lapa Lapa. I love Lapa Lapa.
Yeah, Lapa Lapa has got...
It's so beautiful.
It is. And you know what, you guys? Breakfast at Lapa Lapa is under $10, okay? You can go there for under
Amazing.
$10 and get breakfast. As long as you're not drinking, you can do it.
That's right.
And you can't beat the view, and you can't beat the service, and
No.
you can't beat the ambiance,
No, you really can't. No. My
Except for a
favorite
Casa
place.
Karma, Casa Karma.
No, it's beautiful.
What about lunch?
I love Maximilian.
Yeah.
Lapa Lapa too, but but they're all good. They're all good, but really, I just love Maximilian, and I also love Lavatea.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, get
Those are
yourself a
my
nice view of the
go-to
beach.
places.
I was just there the other day. I had a Greek salad. I was such a happy man.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I love their quiches.
I've never tried their quiche. I got to do that.
Try it.
Yeah. You got a favorite dinner spot?
Bravo's, when I'm able to get out, absolutely. I really adore Bravo's.
Yeah.
And I love Barrio Bistro in my neighborhood, which is, I'm now living in Peninsula. So that's a favorite.
So you're closer to Memo's place, huh?
Oh, I love Memo's place.
Yeah,
He's
Memo's-
a dear, too.
Memo's a great guy.
Yes.
I like him a lot.
Yes.
Very good.
And Cafe des Artistes,
Yeah.
Tinto K.
Which one? Is there one there?
There's one in right now next to the river, and
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Huh?
It's really wonderful.
All right, we have to check that out. I have not been there.
Yeah.
I've walked past it. I went, whoa, Tintakay is here, because they were in the marina, too. Are they still there in the marina?
I'm not sure about that.
Maybe they moved, huh?
I think they did,
Okay, all
but
right.
I'm not sure.
Well, now I got to go to the marina and find out.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Or knock on their door and say, hey, are you still in the marina?
I'm sure.
If you had a day off and you were going to come back the same day, where would you go?
Actually, I would go to the Botanical Gardens.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me
It's
too.
so peaceful.
Me too.
Yeah.
How about 3 days?
I would probably go to San Miguel Allende.
Yeah? How would you
Yeah.
get there?
I would fly.
Okay. And what do you do? Where do you stay when you go there?
Matilda. I stayed at Matilda last time.
It's a hotel.
It is.
Okay, so the Hotel
Yeah.
Matilda. You like
Yeah.
it?
I did. Yes, I
Okay.
did. I did. I was there 5 years ago. I've not been there for a while.
What do you do when you walk? Do you just walk around? Is it a walkable town
Yeah,
like
it's
it
a
is
very
here?
walkable town. Yeah. And my good friend Anato, who did so much work at Casa Karma, who's no longer with us, has an absolutely amazing mosaic place that I just absolutely love to see.
All right. Well, one day
Jimmy Ray's Chapel, I think it's called. It's a really amazing place. Yeah, I would recommend that place.
I'll have to get up there.
Yeah.
All right. So 3 days, San Miguel Allende.
Yes.
Do you have any words of advice for a first-time visitor coming to Puerto Vallarta?
Just be open. Be receptive. Recognize the love that is all around you and give it back.
How about words of warning?
My warning is mostly to your behavior. It is, don't be an ugly American. Don't expect things to be as they were in the States. My feeling about that is, really, if you feel like things should be that way, then why bother to come to Mexico? I think a pet peeve of mine is that people expect a perfection that I find imperfection charming, probably because I am masterful at being imperfect myself. So I identify with that. I also identify with music that can be a little off.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love the enthusiasm of the people. I love the music. And so don't come here looking for quiet necessarily. And I mean, I hear people complaining about how noisy things are. And I'm thinking, well, wait, really, you're in Mexico. What do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect? You expect exuberance. Live with it, appreciate it, embrace the life, and learn.
Fantastic. All right. Well, those are all wonderful, wonderful suggestions. And you all listen to that, all of you, okay? Let's go back to Casa Karma. How do we find it? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram?
We are on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
CasaKarmaPV.com.
That's
and we are on Instagram as well.
Uh-huh.
And also the website is that, www.CasaKarmaPV.com. I think that's how you find it.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. You know, the Google, as they say in Spanish.
Good,
the Google
good.
will get you there. And I'll have links to that, of course, in the show notes. You can find that, of course, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com in this episode about Casa Karma. And Georgia, I got to tell you, this has been a delightful conversation. I can relate to you with Eckhart Tolle. I mean, I'm a big fan. So when I hear you talk like that, you're talking my language. And, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you and to introduce Casa Karma to my listeners. I truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and what lovely energy you have. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you so much, Georgia. What a lovely lady, and what an incredible property. Now, Georgia talked about events that were upcoming but now have passed. One of those events was the Lightworkers Gathering, and if you want to know more about that, I have a link to them, and I also have my friend Marcia Blondin attended that 3-day event, and she wrote about it in her column From Here in the PV Mirror, where she describes her experience in only the way that Marcia can write, which is poetry, really. And I have a link to that article in the show notes so you can figure out what was going on there during that event. It is on page 9 of the Mirror, and that is the February-March 2022 edition. The edition number is 692, and I have a link to that, of course, in the show notes. Go to page 9, and you can read what Marcia had to say about that. I have links and pictures in the show notes about Casa Karma and how you can book a room for your next stay in paradise, or maybe you have a special event coming up. Anyway, keep this lovely space at Casa Karma in Conchas Chinas in Puerto Vallarta in mind the next time you have an event, or the next time you're thinking about a different place to stay in Puerto Vallarta. All right, well, that should do it for today. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us a message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you're going to use someone else, so do it. Really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. Now, once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe or follow and whatever. Give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening to it. That way we can, better yet, tell a friend. That's the best way to do it. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. And if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, with interesting pictures and more, all right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Well, thank you so much to Gabino, the pull tab purse maker. Don't forget his pull tabs before you leave town and come to paradise like I did. And go buy something from him. Something special. Something unique. And thanks so much to you, Georgia Darashori from Casa Karma. Beautiful private villa and event space with that stunning backdrop of Conchas Chinas Beach in Puerto Vallarta. Wow, thank you so much for all you do for the people of Puerto Vallarta. Georgia, you are truly a treasure, amiga. Check out Casa Karma the next time you're looking for a different place to stay in Puerto Vallarta. Georgia's staff will pamper you, and you won't want to leave, I promise. It's so beautiful. It is so comfortable there. You gotta try it out. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler, signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.